Cinema Classics is sponsored by WCBE 90.5 FM, Columbus, Ohio, and is produced by John DeSando. Listen to shows online at wcbe.org.
I'm John DeSando.
And I'm K G Iline.
And this is Cinema Classics. Well, I don't know if we have a classic here or not. It's called The Whale.
What a way to end the year. Oh, my goodness. The last movie that I saw this year, and had to go a little out of our way to see it, but it was well worth it.
Yeah.
I'm going to sum up this movie with just two words. Powerful and disturbing.
Oh,
Yeah.
and I agree with you completely, and I'm going to add my own take to this, all right? I am going to say, for Brendan Fraser, yes for Golden Globe, yes for Oscar.
I would agree. I would jump ahead to the Oscars right now and say it's a battle right now between Colin Farrell from Banshees
Yes.
of Inisherin, who gave a wonderful performance.
And he was my number one
Yes.
up until...
And mine too. And a lot of critics have been saying that he was number one, but now, oh,
I don't know how they could...
I don't know how you can best Brendan Fraser in this movie.
I mean, I saw in Fraser's intonations and in his facial expressions what I had never seen before with him, but I guess I can't remember back to the Mummy and...
Who would have thought that the person that was the action hero of the Mummy series
Yeah.
20 years ago would become a performer able to pull a role like this off?
Now, do you remember at all Gods and Monsters and whether he had a significant performance in that?
He gave a good performance in it, but it's nothing that would be any different than Harrison Ford or
Okay.
Larry Clavel would do. This is a performance that rises well above what you'd expect from somebody with a history of doing action movies.
Okay, Ken, this is my kind of movie, of course, which is not everybody's. The closer that it resembles a stage play, the happier I am. And this, you say, but John, this is cinema. I say, I realize that, but in the end, I'm always a word man.
Oh, well then this is the perfect movie for you and anyone else who really enjoys adapted plays.
Yes. And would this be called an adapted play?
Well, there are two ways in which you can film a play. One, and the more common by far, is called the adapted screenplay, where basically you take the play and you turn it into a movie script, you add locations, you take the settings to different places, and it looks more like a movie. And that's the more common. Good examples of that are Inherit the Wind, The Apartment with Jack Lemmon. Great scripts, but they're taken from a play and then expanded. The other way is much rarer, and that's where you basically just film the play. You add a fourth wall to the set, you allow the camera to move around inside that little set, but it's basically just the set from the
I wonder
play.
if Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf? Do they go outside once maybe or so?
And this is a movie that is very reminiscent of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf in its impact, in the power of its words, in the confrontation.
Yes.
You know, if you go to see The Whale or you watch this on streaming, be prepared. Be prepared for something like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, or a movie that's going to have the emotional impact of Schindler's List. Because this movie is just gut-wrenching. This is not a date night movie.
And regardless of what some very smart people are calling it exploitive, that they're exploiting the fat syndrome and even maybe making fun of it, it's not true.
Not at all. And the reason I would say that is because this play, when the playwright Samuel Hunter wrote it in 2012, is semi-autobiographical. Hunter was raised in rural Idaho, which is where the movie is set, and the play, and
he moved from Iowa to Idaho, wasn't it? Some point in the film where his daughter says,
yes,
yes,
yeah,
how would you
the
go
missionary
from Iowa to Idaho?
yeah.
Is that an upgrade?
Is that better?
Although my daughter lives in Sun Valley.
Oh, wow.
Which is not really Idaho.
No.
It's really heaven.
Yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. But yes, Samuel Hunter grew up, he was raised in a fundamentalist Christian church and went to school there, and he was a closeted gay man. And he developed self-loathing based on his experiences, and he turned to he self-medicated through food.
Yeah.
And he became quite heavy, and then he went on, and his job there was as a for a college freshman English teacher.
Yeah.
So everything about Charlie's character is really
And
coming
what's
from
so
his personal
interesting
experiences.
is that he teaches online. He
Yes.
teaches in a Zoom fashion. And he will not show himself to
No.
his students. He claims his machinery is not functional.
Yeah.
But he actually doesn't want them to see how grotesque he is.
And when his daughter asks him, you know, what do you do about your camera? He tells, I tell them it's broken, and she says, well, that's probably a good idea.
It is. So basically, we have a story of a man who has grown obese, actually, how would you, morbidly obese.
They call it morbidly obese.
Yeah.
And that's where it's no longer a complication, it's now a disease in and of itself, and it's very likely going to be the cause of death.
And one of the interesting parts of this play is there are reasons for this happening. It is not, in some cases, when I see people who are way overweight, it may be physiological.
Right.
Maybe they can't help it, genetic, however you call it. There are reasons here in this play which are disclosed.
Disclosed.
And I love that part of
Yes.
it. That's the intricacy of it. It's not just an exploit.
Yeah, Hunter and Aronofsky let us know that this was a choice that Charlie made. It had occurred over a period of time, but it was a choice, a decision that he made to allow himself to become this person.
And even as many movies that I've seen, Ken, I really turn away when I see him downing all that pizza and the mayo. And it's meant to disgust me, and it really does. And
This was a movie, and I do this sometimes, where I paid attention to the audience from time to time as I was watching
Yes.
the film. And I wanted to see what the audience's reactions were, because when you do see the character Charlie in full figure, he's probably about 500 to 550 pounds.
supposedly around 600.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a couple times when you see him full figure, or you see him with his shirt off, and you could hear the audience members around me going, oh my God. And that is powerful.
Yeah.
When you can elicit a reaction, like a verbal reaction from the audience, you don't get that from very many films.
And the advantage of this being a film is that you not only have a fat suit that you can somewhat manipulate for a camera, but also CGI, which can be layered
Yes.
on top of that to give you a sense of reality.
And that gives it an edge over, I would believe, the plays.
Yes,
Where
yes.
the plays, they would just pad the actor with between 20 and 100 pounds of prosthetic or pillows or a variety of things. In this, they were able to use CGI to give a very convincing effect of this is what Charlie looks like. And Charlie is so filled with self-loathing, and that comes across, but he is so filled with love and optimism
Yes.
and hope for other people.
Yes, wow. In talking about visually, when he stands up,
Yeah.
he looked like a giant polar bear to me. Did you see? I could not believe.
He looked like Jabba the Hutt to me.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, but when that one point when he stands up, my jaw is going, wow, immense, like an immense bear.
And I think for anyone who has known someone who is this size, or has been worked with somebody who is morbidly obese, they will identify with a lot of the things that we see Charlie going through. He can't pick things up off the floor. He has to use a little device that grips things.
Yes.
And when he sits down, he plops straight down from a standing position.
I thought he would break that wheelchair.
Oh yeah.
I thought he would have, but not, it was a wheelchair made for somebody very wide.
All of his furniture has to be built to endure that kind of weight, and that kind of weight hitting it with a drop.
And we are not going to be smothered by this character because there are other very favorable characters.
Yes.
My favorite,
Yes.
of course, is his daughter Ellie, played by Sadie Sink
Sadie Sink.
from Stranger Things.
From Stranger Things. Yeah, a favorite show of mine, and she showed up in the second season, and she is absolutely wonderful on that show, and she's wonderful in this movie.
She's my kind of lady. I mean, she's full of spark, and she's acerbic, and there's not a moment when she is.
And her character is the kind of character an actor loves, because she is very, very direct, she's very forceful, but there's a lot of subtlety to her character, and there's a lot of subtext to what's going on in her mind that she has to bring out.
So right, and she's ostensibly misanthropic. There is nobody on this stage that can get away from her lightning bolt of sarcasm.
And the best scenes in this film is when Charlie and she are together.
Yes.
And Charlie is so filled with love and hope and optimism, especially for his daughter, because there's nothing left in his life.
Yes.
And she is so negative and so mean.
You know, picking up on what you said, there is subtlety to hers. There's a point at which I thought she was over the top, as far as this teenage angst.
A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think she could have been, Aronofsky could have directed her to tamp that down
He
just
could,
a bit.
could have reeled it in, and he could have also showed another side to her a little earlier in the film.
Very good, yes.
That there is something there under the facade.
We've been to theater enough to know that is coming.
Yeah.
But it didn't come
It didn't
early
come
enough.
soon enough, and it didn't come enough.
Yeah.
She stays mean a little too long.
Yeah. This discussion is reminding me of the other good characters in here.
Oh, yeah.
Even down to the pizza delivery man.
A cast of 6, yes, not counting the bird. There are only 6
Right.
people, and I imagine the stage play is a cast of 5 because you could double somebody to play the delivery man.
Right,
I don't
right.
believe he's seen
Love
that
the
play.
way they have the shadow go across the windows.
Yes.
People who are coming and going.
Yes.
These are like shadows in his life. It's just, what a great visual effect.
And this is such a small claustrophobic set.
Yes.
With this immense individual in it who just, his size, if anything, seems even bigger when the set is so small.
Okay, K G Iline, I can hear the phones ringing. They're calling and saying, please, I feel these guys are not going to be saying anymore because this is a short show. But they can go to
Double Take, and
Thank
they
you.
can hear us ramble on a little bit more. We're going to talk about Darren Aronofsky, a little
All right.
backstory to him, and we'll talk a little bit more about this wonderful film.
All right, this is Double Take on the WCBE podcast experience. If you want to hear more of our blend, what do you recommend?
I highly recommend this movie. Find it wherever it's playing. If you can't find it, see it on streaming.